Yeah, classification of SQL commands. Classification of SQL commands. So majorly four types of SQL commands we have: DTL commands, DML commands, DCL, and as well as TCL. DTL commands, which are used for creating the structure of a table, modify or changing the structure of a table, removing table structure. All these tasks we are going to be perform. Completely, it is going to be deal with the structure of the table. Structure of the table in a sense, what are the columns we have, what are the columns we have, and what type of data we have to store into that particular columns, and if it is having any restrictions, everything it is going to be represents the structure of a table. We are going to be store all the particular data in the respective columns based on that requirement. DML commands which are used for inserting the data into the table, modifying the data, and removing the data from the existing table. Even accessing the data from the table we can say under DML, but strictly speaking we'll be having select command under DRL, data retrieval language. See, DML commands which are completely deals with the data but not the structure. DTL commands which will deals the structure of the table. DML commands which will deals with the data what we have in a table. So now here structure of the table, after creation we are going to be use the DML commands for inserting the data, or else if you want to modify any data, or if you want to remove the data from the table as well. Now if you see here, DML insert, update, delete, completely inserting the data, modifying the data, and removing the data from the existing table. Select command which is used for accessing the data from the existing table, accessing the data as per our requirement from the table. DCL commands which is used for giving the privileges to the user and take back the privileges which we have given to the user. For every user will be having some different roles. As per the roles, if you want to provide any, you know, like read access or write access or different types of access, depends on the work they are doing on the particular databases. Now here, for some users will be having read access, just they can able to access the data, and some users they can able to perform the modifications to the existing data, and for everyone will not have a access for removing the data from the existing table in real time. Everyone will not have access to remove the data from the existing table or database. So always will be having read access only, and for few roles will be having write access as well, write access and as well as modify access. TCL which is used for performing some transactions. What is meant by transaction? Set of work to be done in a logical order is nothing but a transaction. Why we have to do the task in some logical order? Why we have to do the set of work in a logical order? If we have a task, if we do in some logical order, then only we can able to say that, then only we can able to say that it is the task has done properly. See, some set of work to be done in a logical order in a sense, in some particular order, in some particular order. Like if I want to transfer some amount from person A to person B, or we can say like if the amount has to be transferred from person A to person B, first the person A has to transfer the amount to the bank, and from bank the amount has to be transferred to the person B. that is a set of work to be done in that particular order. But if the person A is transferred the amount to person uh, bank, and the bank is not transferred to B also, there is a loss to the person A. And if the person A is not transferred the amount to the person bank, and the bank has transferred the amount to the person B, so then there is a loss to the B. Not only in sake of amount, we can able to say in any way, if we want to perform some set of tasks, it should be done in a logical order only. In logical order, we need to perform that particular task. In logical order, we need to perform that particular task. These are the different classification of SQL commands we have. And see, first, if we enter into the DDL commands for creating the table structure, modifying the table structure, and to remove the table structure, we have the commands here is create, alter, drop. As we discussed, SQL is a not a case sensitive language. We can write the queries in any case of letters. In any case letter. In any case of letters. Like uppercase, lowercase, we can write combination of that we can write. Completely uppercase we can write. Completely lowercase also we can write. And if you see, uh, for some classes, we'll use uppercase and lowercase combination. The thing in the syntaxes where we have to maintain as it is, we are going to be write in the uppercase letters, and where we can able to change the content that we can able to write in the lowercase letters. Just for showing that difference, I would like to write uppercase and lowercase. So create table. See, syntax for creating table: create table, table name, and we have here column 1 data type and size, comma, column 2 data type size. Like this, how many columns data we can able to, I mean, how many columns we required in this particular table, we can able to give all that particular columns. This data type will represent what type of data we need to store in that particular column, and what is the size of that, how many characters it need to store, what is the length it has to be stored, that is going to be represented, that is going to be represented with this one. So this is a syntax for creating table. Along with that, we have some constraints. Constraints in a sense, some set of rules what we are going to be apply on the on storing the data into the respective column, that we will discuss in the coming sessions. That we will discuss in the coming sessions. Next, to modify the structure of a table. Modifying the structure of a table in a sense, adding a column, removing a column, or changing the existing column. This task, if we want to perform, then we are going to be use the alter command. Here, add a column to the existing table. If we want to add a single column or more than one column to the existing table, we have to follow this particular syntax. We have to follow this particular syntax. Alter table, table name, add. So column name, data type and size. Column name, data type and size. If you want to add one more column, come here, comma, column name, data type, size. Now for the existing table, already created table, if you want to add one column or two columns, we are going to be use this. We are going to be use this. And the second one, second syntax, what we have with the alter command here is um, to modify or change the existing column of a table. If you want to um, change the data type of the existing table, if you want to change the data type of existing table, so then in that particular case, we'll be having the syntax like alter table, table name, modify, column name, new data type, size, column name, new data type, size. So this syntax will be followed for modifying the existing table. And now here, To remove a column from existing table, I don't want one particular column in my table. If I would like to remove that, what command we have to use? Only one column or few columns from the existing table. Again, for removing the complete structure of the table along with the data, and the memory has to be released which has been occupied, then we are going to be use the drop command. Now here, this syntax, alter table name, drop column name. If we want to remove the specific columns from the existing table, if we want to remove specific columns from the existing table, then we have to use this alter table name, drop column name. So that particular columns is going to be deleted from the existing table column along with the data. See, to remove the complete structure of a table along with the data what it is having, then we have to use this syntax drop table name, drop table name. So these are all the DDL commands. These are all the DDL commands. So for creating the structure of a table, for modifying the structure, and to remove the complete structure of a table, and to remove complete structure of the table. Next, DML commands, which are used for inserting the data to the table, modify or changing the existing data in the table. If we want to remove the complete data from the table also, we are going to use this. See, now we'll discuss the syntaxes of this. First, for inserting, for insert, to insert the data into the table. Row wise will insert data into table at a time. ఒక రో ఆఫ్ డేటా మాత్రమే మనం ఇన్సర్ట్ చేస్తాం టేబుల్లోకి. రో వైజ్ ఇన్సర్ట్ చేస్తాం, అట్ టైం వన్ రో ఆఫ్ డేటా మాత్రమే ఇన్సర్ట్ చేస్తాం. సో దట్ విల్ సీ హౌ ఇట్ విల్ బి. Will insert one row of data at a time. Okay, the syntax, insert into table name values, insert into table name values, list of values, list of values as order of columns in the table. This is the one syntax where we'll be using for inserting data row wise into the table. So here we have to provide the values as per the order what we have the columns in a table. And if the char, varchar, date, time, these are the data types we have. These data types we didn't discuss yet. So just char, varchar, date, time. If these data types we have with the columns, and if we want to store that particular values into the respective columns, then definitely we need to represent those values in the single quotations. Char, varchar, date, sorry, not data, date, date, time, ఈ వాల్యూస్ మనం స్టోర్ చేసేటప్పుడు, ఆ రెస్పెక్టివ్ కాలం వాల్యూస్ మనం స్టోర్ చేసేటప్పుడు ఆ వాల్యూస్ మనం కంపల్సరీగా సింగిల్ కొటేషన్స్ లో రిప్రజెంట్ చేయాలి. అదర్వైజ్ విల్ బి గెటింగ్ ద ఎర్రర్. This is one syntax, or else we have another syntax for storing values into it. Insert into table name, insert into table name, values. See here, list of columns, list of columns, sorry, insert into table name, list of columns, then values, list of values as per column order, as per column order. So in this syntax, we no need to provide the list of columns as we are following the columns order in the table. Table లో కాలమ్స్ ఆర్డర్ ఏదైతే ఉంటుందో ఆ ఆర్డర్ లోనే ఫాలో అయ్యి మనం వాల్యూస్ రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తాం బై యూజింగ్ దిస్ పర్టికులర్ సింటాక్స్. And whereas coming to this uh, second syntax, second syntax, we no need to follow the columns order what we have in a table. We can follow in any order, but that order what we are representing here, the list of columns, the same order only we need to pass the values. Otherwise, if we are not following this order, what will happen here? Automatically the data what we have is going to be get changed. ఒక కాలంలో స్టోర్ చేయాల్సిన డేటా ఇంకో కాలంలోకి వెళ్ళి స్టోర్ అవుతుంది. సో వీ హ్యావ్ సమ్ ఇంటెన్షన్ టు స్టోర్ సమ్ పర్టికులర్ డేటా ఇన్ వన్ పర్టికులర్ కాలం, but it is going to be store some other values or some other data in the respective columns. To avoid that, we need to be take care. So if we are following this order of columns in the table, need to follow for storing order of columns in the table to be followed to store values. No need to follow order of columns in the table while inserting data. So specific columns what we have, that columns we can able to use for storing the data and we can able to enter it. This is the way. So insert command which is used for inserting the data into the table. At a time, one row of data we are going to be stored into this particular table by using insert command. So only command we have for storing the data in SQL is insert. Row wise only we are going to be store the data. At a time, only one row of data we are going to be storing it. Okay, so next command what we have here is update command, which is used for modifying the existing data in the table, modifying the existing data in the table, that we will see. Update user to modify or change the existing data in the table. If you would like to modify the existing data in the table, we are going to be use this syntax. See, syntax update table name set, set column name is equals to value, column name is equals to value, where condition. where condition. See, where condition, for what purpose we want to use the condition is for changing the specific data, we have to provide the condition. For changing the specific data, we have to provide the condition. For providing the condition, we have to use the where class. Otherwise, it is not required. So I have represented that in the square brackets, which it means like it is optional. I have represented that in the square brackets, which represents it is optional. So as per the syntaxes in SQL, if we represent anything in the square brackets, it is going to be considered as optional. If it is required, we will use, otherwise we are not going to be use that. If it is required, we will use, otherwise we will not use it. See, update command, which is used for modify or to change the existing data in the table. How we can able to modify the existing data of the table? With this syntax, we are going to be use the update, whatever may be the table name, we have to use that table name, set the respective value we need to provide in that particular column, or else if we want to modify the existing data in a specific, I mean the specific data, if we want to modify, then we have to use the where condition, otherwise it is not required. ఒక specific data తీసుకెళ్ళి స్టోర్ చేయాలనుకుంటే then we are going to be use only where condition. Where condition ఒక specific data కాదు, total data modify చేయాలనుకున్నప్పుడు we can use this update command without having any where condition, without having any where condition. Okay, so this is a command we have with the update. And next command we have here is delete. Next command we have here is delete. The purpose of using delete command is to remove the data from the existing table, but the structure remains same. Only data మాత్రమే రిమూవ్ చేస్తుంది టేబుల్ నుంచి, బట్ టేబుల్ కున్న స్ట్రక్చర్ యాజ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ అలానే మెయింటైన్ చేస్తుంది. టేబుల్ కున్న స్ట్రక్చర్ యాజ్ ఇట్ ఈస్ అలానే మెయింటైన్ చేస్తుంది. సో దట్ వి విల్ సీ. యూజ్ ఇట్ టు remove the structure of the table, sorry, remove the data from the table and structure remains same. Only specific data remove చేయడానికి మాత్రమే ఇది యూజ్ చేస్తాం. Sorry, the complete data of the table or specific data if you want to remove will be using this syntax. Sorry, use it to remove the data from the table and structure remains same without deletion. The structure remains same without deletion. See how it will be, the syntax. Delete from table name. Delete from table name, which is going to be used to remove complete data from the table. That is removes whole table data. Removes whole table data from the table. So if we want to remove the specific data from the table, to remove, delete from table name, where delete from table name where condition, which is used to remove specific data from the table. which is used to remove specific data from the table. Okay, specific data and remove చేయడానికి will be using delete from table name where condition. Where condition, wherever we are providing, we should represent, I mean, for removing the specific data or to update the specific data, in this particular cases only we have to use this where condition. Otherwise, we no need to use the where condition. So because of that, in this particular syntax as well, I have represented that in the square brackets. Square brackets లో represent చేసింది ఏది కూడా we have to consider as a optional. అది అవసరం ఉంటేనే యూజ్ చేస్తాం, లేకపోతే no need to use that particular one. Any doubt in this syntaxes like what we have discussed in insert, update, delete? If any doubts in this, you can ask me. Okay, fine. We'll go to the next command, that is select command. What is the purpose of using this select command? For retrieving the data from table, we are going to be use this. To retrieve the data from table, we are going to be use this. See now, syntax accessing data for from table as per our requirement. But changes will not be done in the table. But changes will not be happen to the data in the table. Changes will not be happen with data what we have in a table. సో మనకు ఏ ఆర్డర్లో కావాలంటే ఎలా కావాలంటే అలా డేటాను రిట్రీవ్ చేయడానికి మాత్రమే సెలెక్ట్ కమాండ్ యూస్ చేస్తాం. మనం ఎలా రిట్రీవ్ చేస్తున్నాం, ఆ చేంజెస్ అయితే ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ టేబుల్లో అవ్వదు. ఆ చేంజెస్ అయితే ఎగ్జిస్టింగ్ టేబుల్లో అవ్వవు. సో దట్ ఈస్ ద purpose of using select command. That is the purpose of using select command. See the syntax: select star from table name. Select star from table name. So what is this select star from table name? See, star represents all columns. All columns from a table. Star represents all columns from a table. This syntax which is used for retrieving complete data from a table. Whole table data. If we want to retrieve the specific data from the existing table, specific columns from the specific columns from the existing table, so then we have this syntax. We need to follow this syntax. Select column 1, column 2, or how many number of columns we required from table name. If we want to retrieve the specific data, where class we can use. This is class, where will be considered class, not class, class, clause, class. Representing the condition, will be using this class, where class. For representing the condition, will be using the class, where class. Okay, fine. Now if we want to retrieve the specific data from the specific columns as per the condition, we can able to specify this, or else only few columns data if you want to retrieve from the table, then no need to provide any condition. సో కొన్ని కాలమ్స్ డేటా మనకి ఏ ఆర్డర్లో కావాలంటే ఆ ఆర్డర్లో రిట్రీవ్ చేసుకోవడానికి వీఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు బి యూజ్ దిస్ సెలెక్ట్ కమాండ్. ఏ ఆర్డర్లో మనం రిట్రీవ్ చేసుకుంటున్నా, ఎలా మనకు అవసరమైన విధంగా మనం రిట్రీవ్ చేసుకున్నా ఆ డేటా మళ్ళీ టేబుల్లోకి వెళ్ళి అయితే సేవ్ అవ్వదు. జస్ట్ మనకు డిస్ప్లే అవ్వడానికి మాత్రమే ఆ వేలో మనం రిప్రజెంట్ చేస్తాం. డిస్ప్లే మనకి ఏ విధంగా కావాలంటే ఆ విధంగా డిస్ప్లే చేయడానికి మాత్రమే. The changes will not be happen with the command. Changes will not be happen with the command. So any doubt in this? Select command. Most of the work we are going to be do with the select command only. When compared to other commands in SQL, most of the time we'll be working with the select command only. If any doubt, let me know. See, next we'll see all these things practically. How we can able to create the table, how we can able to modify the data, how we can able to modify the structure, all these things we'll see. This is a Oracle database. In the Oracle database we'll be discussing this. See this Oracle database. I would like to create the connection, so I'll guide you how we can able to install Oracle in your systems and everything. So already if you want to create the connection after installing this, we are going to be use this, and we have to create the connection. We have to create the connection. See, now already I have created the connection. In this particular connection will work, so I'll help you in installing this Oracle database in your systems. It is taking some time for processing. See here, I'm going to be connect to the existing database by giving the password. It is taking into that particular database now. Yeah, now we'll create database. Create database. Sorry. First we are going to be create the table. Create table. Let me create the table name as emp. I think emp is there. emp1 I would like to create with different columns like emp id. So I would like to give integer for emp id, integer data type for emp id. So next I would like to create emp name, so where I'll be taking the char data type. So these data types and all we will discuss in the next section. We'll discuss the data type. Just I am showing how to create the table and all. So here empid is the column name, int is the data type. So int is the data type where it is going to be store only the integer values, either it is a positive positive number or negative number without having any decimal or fraction. డెసిమల్ కానీ ఫ్రాక్షన్ కానీ లేకుండా పాజిటివ్ నెంబర్ కానీ నెగిటివ్ నెంబర్ కానీ స్టోర్ చేసుకుంటుంది. సో దెన్ దట్ ఈస్ నథింగ్ బట్ ఇంటీజర్. Char is a data type where it is going to be store only alphabets as per the requirement what we are giving. సో ఏ సైజ్ కావాలంటే ఆ సైజ్ లో మనకి ఓన్లీ ఆల్ఫాబెట్స్ ని స్టోర్ చేయడానికి we are going to use the char data type. So if I am giving the 30 as the size here, 30 as the size here, as per the size 30 it is going to be store only alphabets. మనం నేమ్ లో న్యూమరల్స్ ఏమి ఇవ్వం కాబట్టి we are going to be give the char data type. If we want to store the numerals, then we have to use the varchar. Then we have to use the varchar data type that we will discuss. So for employee ID, salary, maybe salary, some places will be having some decimal values as well in the salary. So in that particular case, I would like to give decimal is the data type. So 8 comma 2, total 8 digits it need to store, and after the decimal point it need to have 2 digits. Total it should have 8 digits, and after the decimal point it need to have 2 digits. After the decimal point it need to have 2 digits. So that will be represented. And then location, where maybe sometimes we would like to enter some um, numerals also in the location or address. So I would like to take this as the varchar, and I will be giving the size as 35 here, and I'll be giving the size as 35 here. So these are the tables we have. These are the tables we have. Sorry, this is a table. In that table, the specific columns. Now I'm going to be execute this. emp1 table is created. Table emp1 is created. To see the structure of a table, we have one command called as desc that also we'll discuss here. To see or view the structure of table, to see the structure of table, desc table name, desc table name. That we can consider as a syntax. So table structure చూడడానికి మనకి syntax ఏమంటే desc table name we have. desc table name. So that we will discuss now. If I would like to see the structure of a table, desc emp1. So structure of the table in essence, what are the columns we have, what its respective data types, that everything information it is going to be displayed for us. So now if you see here, we are having this. If you see here, the name of the columns empid, emp name, salary, location, and its respective data types. So what is meant by null question mark? So whether it has to be accept the null values or not, that is going to be that is going to be indicated over there. What is null? What is meant by that null value and all, we will discuss in the coming sessions. So now example for creating table. Example for creating table. table 1 emp created innocence, that will be represent the successful message after creating table. Successful message after creating table. To see the structure of a table, to see the structure of emp1 table, we have this command and we'll be getting the output as well. This output we are going to get. Now I would like to access the data from the table. Select star from emp1. If I'm writing everything in uppercase also, it is going to be work. Combination of lowercase and uppercase also, it will work. SQL is not a case sensitive language. See, as of now, just I have created the table and we have seen the structure of a table, but we didn't insert any data into the table. As of now, we didn't insert any data into the table. So if I'm accessing this, we'll be getting empty table. Empty table. So there is no data for displaying. There is no data to display from the table. Because of that, we are getting it as empty. Because of that, we are getting it as empty. See, for inserting the data into the table, insert into emp1 values. What is the first one we have? Employee ID. I would like to give 101. Next, employee name. I would like to, sorry, here we have char data type. Because of that, we have to represent in the single quotations. So, Bharat. Name here I would like to give as Bharat. So, salary, let me consider 64,000 something. Even though if I'm giving the decimal without decimal here, automatically it is going to be considered dot two zeros as a decimal value. So we have given 8 comma 2 innocence, total of 8 digits, it is going to be accept. How many here? 5. Yeah, it will accept. Total of 8 digits. After the decimal point, it need to accept 2 digits. And I would like to give Marthahalli location. So after writing this, if I'm executing, one row inserted, one row inserted. So I'll write this. No data in the table will display, will get empty table. Inserting data into table row wise at a time, one row. See, now I would like to change this 102 funny 82,000 or something. I would like to insert one more 103. Other name I would like to give Dana. 1000 PTM. Raghu. Whitefield. See, now just I have written the queries, but I didn't execute these queries till now. Queries రాశాను బట్ నేనేం ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ చేయలేదు ఇప్పటి వరకు. సో నౌ ఐఎమ్ గోయింగ్ టు బి ఎగ్జిక్యూట్ ఈచ్ వన్. సో వన్ రో ఇన్సర్టెడ్. సో ప్రీవియస్గా వన్ రో ఇన్సర్టెడ్ మాత్రమే మనకు ఇక్కడ ఉండేది. సో వీ గాట్ వన్ మోర్ అండ్ విల్ బి ఎగ్జిక్యూటింగ్ హియర్ వన్ మోర్ థింగ్. ఇక్కడ ఇంకోటి. సో యాజ్ ఆఫ్ నౌ 4 rows we have inserted. Now if I am seeing the select star from table name, this is the data we are going to be get. After inserting 4 rows, if I am writing select star from EMP, will be getting this is the data. Any doubt in this? As of now, if you have any doubt, you can ask me.